the money, and 2 and 3 were both money going back from the ARPA money to the Jackson Baptist Hospital. So that's old business, so it's up or down on that tonight. Number 4 is...
Charlie.
Yeah.
Over here.
Yeah.
What's the consensus of the council on those two?
I'm all for doing it, because you got a lot of uncompensated care at both those hospitals now. All these shootings we have, I guarantee they have going over Blue Cross card.
Stacey, where you at on it?
I'm cool with it.
You,
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. I was just asking what.
Yeah, I'm good with it. I know there's a problem there.
But
Okay.
again, before we move on, I do want to see us at least consider those other three
Three what?
agencies that we
Oh.
spoke about, the Habitat for Humanity,
I think we got, can we give that,
Community Action, and
can we give Habitat for Humanity money from the ARPA funds? I bet we can. Yeah,
yeah.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Miss Terry.
How you doing? Habitat for Humanity, we would need to determine how they would utilize the funds, but you know, for all intents and purposes, that could be an eligible
okay.
expenditure.
All right, we got extra money in that account now that we need to designate, so we could do that at a later time.
Well, so the city has, in your omnibus package, you designated the entirety of the funds. However, there's some projects that are sitting out there that the county opted not to designate for, which may lend for you guys going back and reconsidering. For example, there was some funding for, I think, Garrett Coliseum and a couple of others that you may or may not move forward with. So,
Okay.
you know, just because the money was allocated, there is some unobligated money out there that if you wanted to repurpose it, you could.
Okay, thank you. We'll look into that.
Thank you.
Charlie, I have one question.
Yeah,
Can I ask you one more quick question?
Terry?
On the money that the council voted on probably 2 months ago, about 267,000 per council member, is that available now? Can we, as long as it's compliant?
So those funds have been obligated by resolution.
Okay.
So what we have done is we would need to talk with the Department of Finance, but we have provided them a protocol and procedure for how those funds would be drawn down to make sure this happens in an organized fashion.
Right.
So we've looked at and have worked on this very thing with other municipalities in particular. It can get very dysfunctional very quickly without protocols, but the goal is to expedite that relatively quickly, so there's already a draft procedure in place. So if we could talk with finance and get that finalized, then we would go through a survey where you guys would provide your
Yeah, you wanna ask
priorities
a
and go
question?
from there.
Now, Ms. Beaver, do we have a plan set up? Are we kind of ready for this? Okay. Okay, so if I want to spend a portion of my 275 and on a trail, on some trails that will qualify, so we do an RF, y'all,
So-
tell me how we do it. Let's figure out how we do it.
Well, so we would need to talk, we will want to talk with finance and get on the same page with how we want to do that. I will tell you what we have recommended, and the first step would be a survey for you guys that would have you list your top 3 priorities. And we would get that from everyone at the same time, and then we would work through a compliance process. It's quicker, it will be quicker to expedite programs that are internal, and what I mean by that is if Ms. Betty could put a line under her ARPA fund for X that could align with a certain department, it's staying within the city, that process is being handled in the city, that is going to be quicker to expedite than someone saying, I want to give all my money to an external entity like a nonprofit, because then we have to run compliance on it. So what we have suggested is prioritizing first those internal sorts of internal sorts of projects or programs, getting the compliance done on that so you could start an RFP process or whatever is necessitated by the request, then moving to those external programs and projects.
Well, and I have one more question, to confirm. You said all of us to give, if everybody does not give their, because everybody may not know right away what they want to do, and some of us may already know what we want to do. Is it going to kind of be a hold on all projects until everybody?
Now, I think, listen, I've seen this before, and my honest feedback is, you know, first come, first serve. Like, if you get yours in there, we would want to start compliance on it, because if we don't, it'll bottleneck. Because what we're potentially looking at is 10 different pots of money. With, you could, if each one of you could do up to 5 projects, that's 50 projects that we would run compliance on. We've run compliance on about 20, and it's taken, you know, almost 24 months. And so it's not so much about the amount of money, it's about the amount of projects. So first come, first serve.
Okay, good.
So,
Would be the
so
recommendation.
Terry,
Yes.
have you got a list of projects that we can use? I mean, certain projects won't qualify.
That's right. That's why we would want to have you put it in the survey. Look, the final rule, and now with ARPA Flex, which was passed earlier this year, there's broad flexibility. I'm not saying any and everything would apply, but if we could get a survey where we get your top 3 priorities, then we could go through that rather quickly, kind of give you a sense of whether we think we can make it comply or not. So that first step would be that survey.
We can't pave streets with it, right?
There, possibly.
Oh, okay now.
So-
Can I build pickleball courts with it?
Why don't we go with our survey,
Okay, all right. I'm just
Mr.
starting
President,
a
and we'll
survey.
go from there.
Okay,
We'll go
very
from
good.
there.
And I also wanted to tell you that we've been collecting ideas for any counselors that are looking for ideas out there that may not have, you know, all their projects together. We've been collecting ideas through the Montgomery Thrive portal since the beginning of this process. And so we can resend around in a spreadsheet. We've sent it out before, but we can send it again of all the people who have asked for money through the Montgomery Thrive portal. So if we can send that around and you can take a look at it, if something
Do that.
strikes you as something you want to do, then you
That'd be
can
good.
use one of those.
That'd be a quick way to get to it. Thank you.
Terry,
Thank you, ladies.
I would like to be first in line.
No, mine already
Item
in.
number 1,
Mine already in.
Calmar Drive.
can't
I'm
be
done.
first.
I'm here.
Hey, I've already
Bring
talked to her
my
today.
list.
Get out of
This is
line.
1, 2,
Yeah.
and 3.
You
All right,
third,
let's-
you number 3.
Miss People,
All right,
remember me
after the
first.
meeting,
Thank
okay.
you, ladies.
Next item,
It's simple, 1, 2, and 3.
number 4 is the South Decatur Food Mart. And, did we carry this one over? This is District 3. Okay. And then number 4, hearing on the rezoning on Cardiel Road. That's for daycare, okay? Number 6, rezoning on Woodley Park Drive. That's you, Mitchell?
Got some questions, so
Okay.
we'll talk about it in
Okay.
the regular meeting.
All right, number 7 is the public hearing on the budget. We'll have an open opportunity for everybody to speak on the budget at that time, and then the ordinance amending the budget will be on there, and we'll carry that over. We'll have a work session on Wednesday the 3rd, is that right, Wednesday the 13th?
Yes, sir.
At 4 o'clock here to discuss what we're going to do as a council on the budget. And then we'll have the budget available to be voted on the 19th next meeting, okay? All right, number 9 is Mr. Lyons is not here. I think there's some discussion got to be made on this because I think we're probably opening a can of worms here. That's not quite the word, but put it in committee. I think you just pass something so you can't do it, period. I think that's what, because you do one, you got to do them all. And we may end up with 100 different ones to do. So anyway, we'll go there. All right, number 10. Number 10, renewing the contract. We carry that over 6 or 8 months, okay? Yep. They didn't hear that, did they? Carried over 45 days? Okay. All right, number 11 is a event center, and my vote's going to be no. I'm tired of event centers, folks. District 5. Sorry. That's yours?
Charlie, can we do a moratorium on them till we get our hands around this? I know we're working on just do another 90-day moratorium on them.
My moratorium's already in place, my vote. We got trouble there with all over the city. I mean, it's
Well,
not one, this problem, it's all
We
of
need to,
them.
we need to figure out, they're not going away, but we
I know
we
that.
need to slow down and figure it out.
They're just bring your own party centers, all that they are. All right, number 12, Bar, Gold LLC on Ann Street. I think that's probably a renewal of the same, it's been there. And then, Mr. Mitchell, you are number 13, with your noise ordinance.
Yes, sir.
And then number 14, Ed,
That was well written, Mr. Mitchell, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
I read that this week.
you just want to bring them in for review?
Well, yeah, Charlie, I'm getting worn out every Friday and Saturday and Sunday on 3-day weekends. There's
Well, we
a
got to
group
have something happen.
congregating in the parking lot to 2 or 3 in the morning,
Well-
and they're blasting music.
Well,
So,
we need to know what the chief thinks about that situation too, because we've had some issues over there where we know 8 or 10 police cars came in to an issue and what happened, you know? And
Yeah.
in reality, we got that many going at 2 o'clock in the morning, what's really going on? So we need, at 5 o'clock, we need to discuss that, okay?
yeah, we will.
All right, number 15, Mr. Mitchell, I noticed you were here at 4 o'clock today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I had a prior meeting, but
Okay, very good. I want to rub it in. Good. I'm with you. I think probably I think we ought to move the meeting to 10 o'clock in the morning, to tell you the truth. What's that do to y'all? Kind of like the county commissioner.
Next item.
Next item, okay. All right, I want to start some thinking there. Okay, number 17, moratorium, Mr. Mitchell, on construction on Bell Road.
I just wanted to put it in front of the council. I know we looked at wanted to get a traffic study. I know we have did one before. It's a grade F right there by the school.
Yeah.
I did talk to Chad Anderson, who is operating manager from Montgomery Public School System. He said that construction will be done at the end of October, and they won't do any more construction at the school until probably another 2 to 3 years. So I just want the council to look at us just putting a hold on it until we able to get some infrastructure done on Bell Road.
Is there a subdivision down there that we've already held up?
Yes. Oh, it's a disaster on Bell
Okay,
Road.
all right. I'll follow you.
Until we figure out how to fix it, and I don't know if it's fixable.
Okay,
I mean, these people are absolutely miserable over there.
all right. Number 17 is the,
Hey,
mayor.
one quick question, Charlie.
Yes, sir.
Does a resolution, does that actually stop everything, or do we need to have an ordinance for this?
Resolution, you've done moratoriums in the past until you could adopt an ordinance to set the regulations, but you've done moratoriums with resolutions in the past.
And that's legal?
Oh,
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
It is held in the past.
power of
so
the mayor,
nobody
power of
is
the
challenged.
council. All right.
Okay.
The Harrison Road, Pier Hill Road widening project, and this, I want to make sure, that's only been there about 30 years on the agenda.
That would be a big yes.
So a big yes there. Need it, and it does. All right, number 18 is a alternative transportation. We'll talk to them when they get here. Number 19 is another rental hall in District 6. Mr. Mitchell, you gonna be on that one, good?
What, 18?
19
19?
is another rental hall, med center.
This is my first time hearing about it. I'll speak to her when she get here.
Okay. Number 20 is it's retail, okay. We'll cover that. Everybody seems to be okay with it. On the busy, food store. So everybody's okay with that one. Number 21 is appointment by Mr. Lyons. Number 22 is appointment by Mr. Lyons. Number 23 is a appointment by Ms. Johnson. 24 is unsafe structure. Number 25 is abatements. Okay. We went through that pretty quickly, didn't we? All right. Anybody got anything we want to talk about? Nope. Okay, good. I like this. Anybody got, I'm gonna suspend the meeting until we get, huh? Oh, that's right, we do have, excuse me. Thank you for keeping me straight. Ms. Bennett,
Good afternoon. I come to you from Women in Training, and we actually have a whole group of women in training and women with us. Would you mind if they come forward or stand up?
Yeah,
Okay, please stand up.
Hey, we got time.
Okay, so we have on our far right, Ms. Jody Womack, who's a volunteer helping us with strategic planning. Next to her is Ms. Salma Ali, who is a leader in the Pakistani and Islamic communities. Next to her is Brianna Bennett, who's one of the co-founders of Women in Training. And next to her is her father, Bradley Bennett, who's the vice president of Women in Training. Y'all can sit down. Wait, the first row. In the next row, we have three beautiful young women who are all, I think, in magnet schools, and they are members of our Young Leaders group. Next to them, with the braids, is Ms. Tina Lewis. She's a STEM teacher with Montgomery Public Schools and the leader of the Young Leaders group. And next to her is Ms. Sandra Watley Washington, who is on the board of directors, our chairwoman for development for Women in Training. And then finally, we have Ms. Tania Johns, who many of you might know, and she's also on the board of directors of Women in Training. Thank you all for coming and supporting us. Thank you.
Very good, very good.
Today we have two requests, but the most important one is for support for our 4th annual Women in Training 5K. And we hold the 5K every year, this is the 4th year, in commemoration of International Day of the Girl. And International Day of the Girl was established by the United Nations to give respect to girls, to respect their humanity, and to help them grow and become productive members of the community. As you may know, Women in Training every month distributes WIT kits or bags of menstrual, dental, and hygiene supplies. The most important item being the menstrual supplies, because we know that 20%, surveys say that 20% of American girls miss school when they're in their menstrual cycle because they don't have the proper supplies. And so we help with that. In 4 years, we've donated 30,000 such WIT kits. So the 5K is a fundraiser for that. This year, we would like to get your permission to post pole banners along Dexter Avenue, around the Rosa Parks Museum, EJI, and coming back to Old Alabama Town, where our 5K is held. We begin there and we end there at Old Alabama Town. And we'd like to have images of women from Montgomery and Alabama who are change makers. So that's our primary request. We have a backup request depending on your response.
Well, let's see what we do. We have a procedure to okay that and approve that. I have to check the mayor's office to see exactly what we do. I think we go through the police or
No, well, we
cultural parent, whatever. Eddie, can you check that out for me? Whatever. Yeah, let's find out what we can do on that, because a lot of folks want to put up flags. You got to make sure we don't
Yes, I
abuse that
understand.
situation. But we need to help you. But
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sometimes a good deed comes unpunished. You know.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, when is the run?
Thank you.
When is the run?
October 7th. It's October 7th, which is a Saturday. And we're beginning at 7 a.m. and going up this year. We usually end around 9, but this year we're going till 11 because we're going to have some cultural performances. Mrs. Salma Ali, you just stand up again so they can know who you are, is choreographing a fashion show of Eastern fashions and Islamic fashions. We're also going to have a dance group from East India, samples of food, samosas, what do you call the ones on the stick? The food, skewers of meats and vegetables, so other foods from other cultures. We're going to have a Caribbean dance group, and so we're going to show off some of the culture, because Montgomery, I really wouldn't have ever guessed, has people from all over the world, from every continent is represented here, and we want to show some of that on October 7th,
Right, okay.
and we'd love for all of you to come out.
Okay.
The second part of our request is, of course, for funding, because it is a 5K to raise money. We've raised $10,000 from Montgomery County, and we're hoping that the city can match that amount. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Oh, you're asking for 10,000, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
1,000 apiece.
Yes, a piece, that's it. This
Okay.
is why I voted for you.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, appreciate that. We had one other person, William Boyd, was supposed to be here. I don't see William here anywhere, so I guess that concludes our work session today. So unless someone else has something to bring up. work
Mr. President,
session- Yes, sir.
I'd like to discuss it with Ed a little further. I know we talked about these event centers. I know we've been we put a ordinance in place that required all event centers to have a liquor license. We kind of amend that. We gave them an opportunity to try to work within those guidelines. They have, to, in my opinion, and the opinion of the Business and Revenue Department, has not been working in those guidelines. So I'm concerned that we keep on kicking the can, and I just feel that it's something that we're going to have to just look at when it comes to these event centers. And I think we are looking at amending. I think we took away the BYOB. Is that correct, Ms. Blaylock?
Yes, sir.
And it had been in place for years, and I think we're going to have to look back at doing the amendment on that, because we can tell them or say that they don't have to have a liquor license, but if they have the ordinance or have the ability to do the BYOB, it still might as well say, hey, just open the door. So we just need to look at it. I think Ed and I had a meeting with a lot of the staff members, and that was our concern when it came to these event centers, but because we are seeing a overwhelming number of those event centers coming in the city of Montgomery.
It's getting out of hand, so I'm all with you. Whatever you want to do, we just do it.
Councillor Mitchell, I want to say one thing. In thinking about this today, I think we should hold they all get a liquor license and liquor liability insurance, because it's revenue, and tax told us that they're going to do it anyway. It's economics, because most people want to have liquor. To rent your center, you're going to have liquor. And the second thing we might want to consider is having them, you can't have but one every 2 miles, spread them out a little bit so we don't have them laying on top of each other. So if we are going to do something, they're going to keep coming, spread them out maybe 2 miles apart, kind of like we do liquor stores. I mean,
Good idea. Bring something to the council. I think the council's all upset with this thing. We all having the same problem. So we need to clamp down on them. Okay? Yeah. All right. Anybody else? All right. Meeting adjourned to